Welcome to your February energy spiritual themed forecast. I'm calling it the winds of waters and change. Why am I calling it that? Because there's definitely winds of change blowing, and the winds and waters because there's a very strong emotional, watery Piscean energy playing with us in February. So you might feel more sensitive or more emotional than usual, but there's going to be absolute change this February 2025. So this is a part 2, so you might want to, that will set the tone, the other video, part 1. I've actually done 2. This is actually really my 3rd February video, but the other one was for the members only so far. So watch part 1 and let's continue here with part 2. So I was saying how it's quite a fiery month, February. It's a quite emotional time. There's a lot of heart healing. We are going to feel inspired creatively with art, poetry. There's a creative flow that we're feeling. The energy starts to move again. We are attracted to the arts in all its different expressions. So if you're a writer, you might feel that you're writing poetry, you're writing articles, or perhaps you're someone who loves to dance and you want to organize a night out on the dance floor with your friends. It's a very living life in a very real way type of month, I feel, which I'm really happy about. I feel like January was kind of flat for most of us. So I have down here this quote, and it's from the Shawshank Redemption film. Do you remember that film years ago? I think it's a Stephen King novel that was turned into a motion picture. Get busy living or get busy dying. And that's what I mean about this energy. It's really calling us to live real life, and it's saying, well, you've said before you want to be fully immersed in this life experience. Well, show us, show the universe, show your angels that you're willing to get up and get out and actually put that into real time experiences. I have down here, inspiration mixed with motivation is a potent cocktail. Synergize both. So inspiration mixed with motivation. So what I mean by that is when we feel inspired, we get the energy to do things we wouldn't usually do. But we also sometimes need to keep that passion and flame alight by encouraging ourselves. And this can be where we motivate ourselves as well. So it's a lovely cocktail. It's a potent cocktail when inspiration and motivation are mixed together and synergized, and we drink that down. It really does put some passion and fire and force back into our living experiences. New circle of friendships, kindred souls reconnecting from previous spiritual lives, social life rejuvenation. Again, a very real-time thing. And I'm not talking about socializing through an app on your phone. I'm talking about getting up and actually physically having these, like, living through these experiences. Because this is your universe, Y-O-U, universe. Now, something that you may find you've been pondering is the thought that the identity that you thought was you is not necessarily it's not actually you, or it's not you're not who you thought you were. And you might have a conflict about that, or you might feel it's triggering old karmic patterns. In part 1, I talked about how the Aquarian moon on the 29th of January, and I'm recording this before that, but by the time you see this, it's probably already February. So that January Aquarian lunation, it was a very karmic, it's a clearing, right? So that's going to be bringing up these questions about your true identity and who you are truly. You are being given a blank page, a clean slate in February. And what will you write now? with your daily living though, with your daily choices, because truly your daily choices add up to your personality and who you are in your life now. Downsize, simplify, declutter. Very straightforward. There'll be a lot of decluttering by the end of February, especially into March. The 9th of February, we have a Cazimi. So this is about listening to your instincts. So what is your body saying? Is your body rejecting someone or something? Listen to that. Is your body magnetizing someone or something? Listen to that as well. You don't have to take action right away, but definitely get the memo and listen to your instincts. Getting together with old acquaintances, nostalgia, sentimental feelings, especially the first half of February. So this is tapping into sentiments of the past, clearing up that old karmic stuff and decluttering not just your physical space, but also your mind, your heart, and creating space for these new fated interactions. Schedule interviews and meet and greets early in February. Positive time for career and work. There's a full moon on the 12th, which requires your attention right now. Your work or career or your personal life tend to what? So this is, so it's like, which is more pressing for your energy right now? Is it work, career, like your life in the public eye or outside? Or is your internal personal life, your family life, your children, is that requiring or needs your presence? And if you can create a balance as best you can between the two, fantastic. The 28th of February, we have a new moon in Pisces. Here's this very Piscean energy really amplifying, it's very emotional, it's clearing, it's cleansing. There could be tears, there could be fears coming up. But I like this energy. It's very heart-based and heart-expanding. And I do feel that overall the year of 2025, I've called it a golden whirlwind because I feel like it is going to be a whirlwind of a year. It's going to be one that we don't have to think twice to remember what happened in this year. I feel like there's going to be a lot of upcoming big life events that are initiations and milestones along the way. But I do feel it's a year that's bringing us closer back into our hearts, into our souls. It's a very soulful, spiritual time. That's the feeling I'm getting for this year. Now, this was the big major message. If something is falling apart, like if something is naturally crumbling right now and it's, it's just, no matter what you do, it just doesn't seem to be fixable or it's not healing. The angels were very clear about this message. Allow what is naturally falling apart to fall. So I have down here, if it falls apart naturally, allow it. The bridge is falling down. So for some of you, there's some bridge in your life that you've been walking. It's served you greatly. It's been a loving presence. It's supported you. But it's time for that bridge. You've crossed over that bridge. And instead of keep looking back with sentimentality, the bridge behind you is no longer needed, so it's crumbling. And you don't need to go and rescue that bridge. Just allow it to fall. And then I heard this song. I had it on a little toy thing years ago when I was a kid. What was it? London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. And I can't remember the rest. But that song just came in right after this message. Like the angels were literally kind of laughing, singing it. But they were saying, everything's going to be fine. But allow what is not standing up on its own 2 feet to fall. Just allow whatever is ending naturally to end, and don't waste your energy or hurt yourself trying to save what is naturally coming to a close right now. Now, again, if you haven't watched part 1, you need to go back to hear about, I talked all about this very potent activation that's excuse me, it's been happening at the end of January into February, and that is interrupting power. So I'm not going to talk about that again. It's in that video on part 1, but I do feel just to remind you of that activation that we've been bringing into February. And it's not just power outside of you, but it's also your own real power inside of you, and how all aspects of power within our bodies and outside of ourselves is being highlighted at this time. So you can hear more about that in that video. So this is, we're in this new yet ancient energy that is bringing us back into our innocence, into our birthright, but it's also, it feels new because we've been so far removed from the light for so long. So we have to stabilize into these light codes as they come in. And also the witch wound. So I did a video last summer, I think, all about the witch wound. You can look it up. It's not that far back in the catalogue of my videos. But there is a healing of the witch wound at this time as well. So chironic wounds, wounds of being rejected, dejected, wounds of being afraid to be seen because of past lives where perhaps you were punished for being psychic, for being an intuitive, for being a healer, an empath. These wounds are being healed now, and you're going to see this truly expand exponentially in the next 2 to 3 years, because more and more people will be stepping forward saying publicly, I'm psychic, I have these gifts, or I've got a telekinetic gift, or I have the cure for certain illnesses, whatever. There's going to be a big move into astrology and spirituality and meditation, and basically alchemy, alchemizing our lower dense programs into the true beautiful high frequency beings, multifaceted beings that we are. So let me just see if I think that's everything. I had to break the video into 2. I've actually done 3, but for subscribers or for the public, I've done 2. I just want to make sure that's everything. I think that's everything for now. I like the February energy because I feel like we are so ready for action, movement, dynamic energies again to activate us and inspire us to this new energy, this new year. I mean, the Chinese New Year, year of the wood snake, begins on the 29th of January. So we are definitely stepping into a new dimensional perspective of ourselves, of the world, and we are feeling this karmic wrap up as we get closer and closer to completing this version of reality. And I think that we are becoming more and more empowered to the truth that we get to select what we engage in and what we support. This is very liberating. I feel in February you're going to hear of a lot of separations, of perhaps people choosing to go different directions than previously expected. I feel that there will be lots of change, and with that comes high emotionality and sentimental feelings, because I really feel like with this, when I say the word split, I don't mean it in a physical term as such, but in the quantum physics of it, we have kind of split or jumped or leaped into a new timeline. So there might be a bit of grief about the people that are no longer on your timeline, in your reality time space. And I think that's perfectly natural and healthy to visit emotions about that. And I did speak in the part 1, February energy part 1 video about how to decide that you won't drown in the density of those emotions, and how to kind of stay in a neutral space with that, because I feel like you're going to need your physical energy to practically and daily take steps of action in February to move along into this new version of yourself, into this new identity and into your new role. So expect to hear of lots of separations, expect to hear of people leaving old jobs to start new jobs, taking on whole new roles altogether, and also possibly unexpected divorces and things like that. So just to be prepared that there is, with the recent collapsing of timelines, we are going to see that in real time play out in very pragmatic, real life ways. And there's no getting around that, because once those soul choices are decided, they have to play out in the physical, real world. So I hope that you find this helpful. As always, I appreciate and I ask you for your kindness with your likes to help circulate this message to as many people as possible. It's always nice to know you're not alone and to feel prepared. I know I get great comfort in connecting with other spiritual communities and seeing that, oh, okay, you're feeling these energies too, which can be, it can just be a human connection, kindred spirits, that we're all kind of contributing and doing similar work, which is always a pleasant feeling. So thank you for your subscriptions, and to my members of the light, as always, a special blessing and thanks to you. The light in me recognizes the light in you.